Hi, my name is Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur's city manager, and it's my pleasure, truly is, to tell you and other listeners, viewers, what's going on with your city government. So, as I have had the opportunity to explain before, but it's probably worth a little bit of repeating, equalized assessed value and values in general, fair market values of real estate in Decatur and Macon County have increased significantly over the last year. There's a lot of reasons for that I won't dwell on, but at least here in the city of Decatur, that increase in values is in the 11 to 12% range. Well, that's good news because property values are higher, but maybe not good news because property taxes are based on values. So if values go up, then oftentimes the property tax rate will go up. So even though the equalized assessed value went up by almost 12%, for purposes of taxation and property values in 2024, the City Council started looking at maybe a 7% adjustment or 5% or 3%, and they were looking at all three of those options. Whichever they choose, the city's levy will go down because they're asking for an adjustment to the property tax that is lower than the actual increase in the equalized assessed value. The mayor and city council are painfully aware that property taxes are not a popular form of revenue. It's based on values, and just because your values goes up doesn't mean you necessarily have more available money to pay the increase in taxes. But sadly, the city's costs continue to go up. Our supply cost, our supply chain problems, our cost of buying new vehicles and equipment to provide the services that the city is pleased to provide, oftentimes are increasing at rates far in excess of the normal consumer price index. That was certainly true when the city council had to make decisions about water and sewer increases. So the council tries to find that middle path between making sure that government is funded, but making sure as well that we're efficient about it so we don't pass on increases to the property owners or to our taxpayers on other taxes that are beyond what they can bear. Find that middle path. So they decided to evaluate some new revenue sources in their budget, but to ratchet the property tax increase instead of the EAV increase of 12% or even the 7% that we first proposed to them. They decided, no, let's be even more conservative and just have a 3% increase, which is very close to the amount of the values that have been added to the city by new construction, new development, and by annexation, so that the average property owner won't see that much of a difference. Now, the fact that the city of Decatur, which only controls 15% of the overall levy, more than half of all property taxes go to the school district, and nearly as much as the city goes to the park district, and almost as much to the county government, and several smaller ones, we have no control over what those other units of government set. And so how much the property tax goes up is the effect of the aggregate work of all of these 10 or 11 local property taxing bodies that are in the city of Decatur. So the city of Decatur, by the action taken by the city council, have shown considerable restraint, but in the restraint in just the 15% that we have control over. Remains to be seen if the other units of local government here in Macon County do the same thing in order to keep the lid on property taxes. The second big issue, if you could call it that the City Council discussed at their last City Council meeting had to do with the regulation of video gaming. Now, the topic of video gaming has been on the City Council's agenda off and on for really almost 10 months now. In January of 2023, they put a moratorium on it, which is just a temporary halt, if you will, to the number of video gaming licenses that could be issued. We just said no more until the City Council can develop a new set of rules. And last Monday, the City Council adopted that new set of rules in the form of changes to the Alcoholic Beverage Code. Some of the changes include saying that liquor establishments that have video gaming, unless they're parlors or clubs, they have to produce at least 40% of their business revenue from sources other than video gaming. Said differently, they can't have any more than 60% of their revenue from video gaming. The original intent of video gaming, when it was authorized by the Illinois General Assembly, was that it be a secondary revenue source to augment their restaurant sales or their tavern sales. It was never intended to be somebody's primary revenue source, but there are some establishments, clearly a minority of them, but there are some establishments here in Decatur that have allowed video gaming to become their primary revenue source. The City Council also effectively capped the number of establishments that can have video gaming, which isn't to say that they'll never allow any more. In fact, the City Council talked about the need maybe to have a more a clear criteria by which future requests could be made. But one of the things that is new is that an establishment can't open and immediately have video gaming. The City Council wants them to demonstrate that they can be successful as a restaurant or a tavern or a distillery or one of the other categories of liquor license without video gaming for at least 1 year before they would add video gaming to their business mix. It also eliminates some loopholes that the city sought to close for some time as a way of reducing the number of video gaming machines in town. For example, we saw a trend developing whereby some of these convenience stores, gas stations really, where because they're already offering food that's ready to eat, pizza under a warming light or hamburgers or something like that that are ready to eat food, and some of them even had a few places to sit down and eat it, sort of next to the place where the motor oil is sold and off the candy aisle or something like that, that therefore they thought they could call themselves a restaurant, get a restaurant license, and have video gaming. And the City Council said, no, we're not going there. And so they added additional language to make clear that those sorts of video gaming applications or property uses wouldn't be allowed. And so there's several other changes like that intended to at least make sure that there's not continued to be the increase that we've had over the past few years. This decision, this policy decision by the mayor and city council was not motivated by money. The city does receive a certain percentage of video gaming receipts, and if it was just about money, then the city wouldn't have put additional restrictions on them. The city council felt like there were too many establishments that had video gaming and that should be controlled as a matter of policy. And in a similar sense to the decision about the property tax, this too was a compromise. The mayor and city council had two different objectives between making sure that it didn't have too much negative impact on local businesses but still achieve their policy objective, and that wasn't easy to do, and it's why they took a lot of time and they were very deliberative and careful about it. And I believe that they've come up with really a good and healthy update to the liquor code, and one that I think achieves their objectives with a maximum amount of compromise, but still sensitivity to what's going on with other local businesses in town. I look forward to bringing you some more information about the City Council's agendas in December when we're back next week. Thanks for tuning into this video.